To both avoid and mitigate difficult behaviors in meetings, facilitators continually use the essential practice of reflective listening. Reflective listening is exactly what it sounds like, listening in order to reflect back what was heard. There are two basic parts: seek to understand the idea of the speaker and offer that same idea back to them. It's basically a way of checking in to see that you've indeed understood what someone is saying. For most of us, someone taking the time to make sure they understand us can be uplifting and make us feel valuable. Thus, reflective listening can satisfy multiple needs, like being heard, validated, included, and respected, all at once, making it a dependable prevention and starter intervention. There are several techniques under the umbrella of reflective listening, and we'll focus on 4 of them: paraphrasing, mirroring, validating, and empathizing. Let's start with paraphrasing, the most fundamental method. When paraphrasing, you've heard what someone has said, and you say in your own words what you think they said. Then invite them to verify that what you said is what they meant. If they respond that you didn't get it right, then ask clarifying questions and repeat the process again. Listen, paraphrase, check in, until they demonstrate to you that you've understood them. Next step is mirroring. This is a technique you can use when there's very low trust in the space, or when participants may take offense to paraphrasing, perceiving it as veiled criticism. Mirroring is very similar to paraphrasing, only you are using the speaker's words when you speak. It can be difficult to remember every word that someone says, especially if they say a lot. So here are a couple of things you can try. You can kindly interrupt them when you've reached your limit for memorizing their words. Use their name and say something like, "Hakeem, I want to make sure I've heard you so far." Then repeat exactly what you've heard. Or you can listen until they are finished and begin to paraphrase, but this time making sure to use many of their key words or phrases. Validating can be used when you sense that a participant has something controversial and could use more support from you because the group may otherwise dismiss their idea or opinion. Don't worry, validating does not mean you are agreeing with their opinion. It simply means that you are welcoming it as a valid opinion, the same as you are everyone else's. You may need to clarify this with the rest of the group. Perhaps you reference a group agreement, or you just explain that you are giving the idea the same space and recognition as other ideas that are voiced. When you validate, you first paraphrase what you think you heard, and then add a bit of support. You can say something like, "I appreciate why you feel that way," or "I see how you got to that conclusion." Then anticipate that they may have more to say. Voicing a minority opinion takes courage and energy. If someone has been validated, they may want to say a bit more because it took a lot of effort to say that little bit in the first place. Validate once more if you think it's necessary, or say thank you and move on. Finally, we have empathizing, which is useful when a participant needs some emotional support. Empathizing is similar to validating in that it legitimizes what the speaker is sharing, but it goes a bit deeper with you. You as a facilitator and listener are identifying with and sharing the feeling they are expressing. Let's say that while you were listening to someone, you picked up on strong emotion and a need for support. Empathize first and use phrases like, "I imagine," "I can see," or even, "If it were me, I'd feel this way too," and speak to the emotion they are expressing. Always look or ask for confirmation, and when you have it, you can proceed to paraphrasing or mirroring, whichever you see fit. So those are 4 reflective listening techniques that I encourage you to use often, and not just in the meetings you facilitate, but in the conversations you have as well. Reflective listening is, at its core, a communication tool and can enrich a variety of relationships. There's plenty of opportunity to practice paraphrasing, mirroring, validating, and empathizing with our colleagues, friends, and family. And practice is where most of the learning and skill building for dealing with difficult behaviors will come from. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave comments in the module or send us an email. We'll see you soon.